All right, gamers, today it's time to go on an adventure with the adventurers. Let's check it out. All right, so in this game, the board is set up this way. We got our lava pit here, our collapsing wall here. We got our rolling ball here. If you look at some of these, they look really nice. Now, these were painted. I bought these from someone, and he had painted them. So the new version will just have this as, I think it's just a blank beige color as this is. These just look really nice because they're painted. And man, this boulder is like heavy. As you see, this kind of Indiana Jones-esque. We also have a Rickety Bridge, which was also painted by the previous owner. It looks really nice. We have a river here, treasure stored away here and here and here. And you are going to be adventurers trying to storm through this temple and get as many treasures as you can. And the game comes with several different figures here. The figures look really nice. You can be any of them. This colored one is just from a little mini expansion where it's just her. She's just an extra adventurer for the game. You can get her pretty cheap. Anyway, so these are all the adventurers you can be. So anyway, for this training video, we're going to be these two adventurers here. I'm going to just put them here, and any adventurers are going to start on the board right here, starting with the walls out there. Now, you're going to pick their correspondent card. So we pick this guy. And who else do we pick? This guy here with the American flag. Oh, yeah. So these are the two guys that I picked. Now, you're going to pick a backup adventurer just in case one of these two die. So I'll pick him and him. Those will be my backup adventurers. Now, on any of these cards, they basically have these little emblems. And these little emblems to the side give them special powers. The book will tell you what their little special power is. It's just like a little rule break to give them a little advantage in the game. Everyone's is different. And to me, not really one is better than the other. They're kind of all evenly balanced depending on where you're going to go. Like some people will be better swimmers. Some people will be a little bit quicker or more nimble on the bridge or whatnot. So each of them have like some little secret power that kind of helps you out in the game. Anyway, your backup character. So for instance, let's say I'm playing as Bill Baker, and this is his backup guy here. You're going to flip around this backup guy, and this is going to be your statistic card to let you know how many actions you will get in a game. Now, how to read this is you'll put this card over here, and this signifies how much treasure you're carrying. So right now, I just started the game, I'm carrying 0 treasure. So if I'm carrying 0 to 3 treasure, I have a 2 as my action. What does that mean? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll these 5 die, and any of them that are 2 or higher is going to give me an action. So I roll all these die, and it looks like I got all this. I got a 6, 2, 3, 4, and a 6, and a 1. Now, because I got the 1, I'm not going to get to use that action, so I get 4 actions this turn. Now, if I was to roll this, and I had 7 to 9 treasures, then I would only get the 4 and the 6, and I would only get 2 actions. So the more treasure you have, the less likely you're going to take that many actions. But right now I have 0 treasures, I have 4 actions. What can I do for my actions? Well, right here, Bill can just run through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can do that if he just wants to go for it and he's trying to get treasure somewhere else. Or he can go 1 and then get a treasure card and the corresponding symbol here. And he can pick up a treasure card. Yay, I got some treasure. Ooh, it's worth 2 points. That's good too. I'm going to keep this on my own so no one knows how many points I have. So I got a treasure. So I could go 1, that's another action, getting a treasure. 2, and maybe 3, and then get another treasure. 4, I got 2 treasures now. Ooh, I'm doing good. That one was a 4. So that's kind of how it can go. But another turn I can do is I could go 1, 2, maybe grab a treasure, 3, and as my 4th action, I could look underneath this card. And I could see, hey, is this tile, what's the symbol underneath this? And there's the symbol. Now I have to memorize that symbol before I put it back down. I got to put it back down this face up. Now this comes in handy later on when we get to the lava pit, and I'll tell you why. So I memorize this symbol, I put it down over here. I didn't show anyone else because that was one of my actions, was peek underneath that symbol. All right, and that's the end of my turn. Now let's say the other player goes and he moves 4 and he just wants to get the heck out of Dodge. Okay, after everyone's round is gone, you have to do 2 things. The first one is see if these walls are closing in. And what you'll do, you'll draw these wall cards. So the first one is nothing happens. The second one says, uh-oh, this wall moves in 1. So as you see here, I don't know if it'll show up on the video, but there are little divisions here on the board that show you how far in these walls move. So I'm going to move this in 1. All right, let's see what this other one is. Oh, it's nothing too. So that's really good. So as you can see, you can't stay here forever gathering treasure because the walls are slowly closing in. Of course, they trap you in, then your character dies. So right now, the wall's just in 1. Now, that's still not it. At the end, we got to see if the boulder moves. What we do is for the first round, we're going to roll 1 die, and then we're going to add a die each round until we get to 5 die. So in the 5th round, you'll be rolling all 5 die. And so as you roll this die, if you roll a 3 or higher, the boulder will move. So here I go. I'm going to roll this 1 die. I rolled a 4. So the boulder will move 1 space. Now on the next turn, I'm going to roll 2 die. Anything above a 3 will move the boulder. Now as you see, man, I'm on a roll here. Seriously, it moves 2 spaces. And then the next round, you know, at the end of that next round, I'm going to roll 3 and so on and so forth. Dang, I'm just really good at making that boulder move, right? So as you can see, the boulder's going to get faster and faster and pick up speed as the rounds go by. And if your character gets stuck down the hallway and it gets run over by the boulder, it dies. If it gets stuck behind a boulder, it's not dead, but it needs to beat that boulder before it gets to the entrance here. Because once it gets to the entrance there, it locks all the players out. But anyway, that's how the boulder goes. So, as the adventurers make it through the walls and gather treasures, once they get to this corner here, they get into the lava room. That's when we reveal the lava board. And as you see, there's a bunch of symbols. Now, any one of these symbols that we just chosen, there's a whole stack of tiles that you would shuffle through and choose 4 randomly. But these are the symbols in this game that we do not want to see when we flip them over. Now, do you remember the symbol that we had to remember that was a bad one? Because under the bottom of this one was one of these symbols. And we know that whichever one that was, that's the one that we do not want to step on. So I would go and let's say I was carrying, at this point I am carrying, let's say I'm carrying 4 treasure, you know. I just got a lot of wall treasure, let's say. Well, now if I roll 3 or higher, I'm going to get to do some actions. So now I roll my die, and as I was moving that boulder, I should be lucky now. So let's see. No, here, now I roll 1s. Okay, so I got 2 1s, but I got 3 moves. So as a move, I can hop on this for 1, then I have to flip it over. Now I have to see, does this symbol match one of the danger symbols here in the game? Nope. It's got 3 lines and 4 dots, and none of these have that symbol. So it's a safe tile. So for 1 action, I made it safely. Now, for a second action, I can hop onto the next tile. And so I do that. It's 1 line, 1 dot. Nope. That one's safe too. All right, doing good. Now for my third action, I may want to choose a lava treasure. And I can get a lava treasure and keep it with me in the game. That's just an extra treasure. Now, as the boulder's moving around to these corners, it's going to knock open these columns and they're going to shed in some sunlight here. Which means once your character dies, your second character, your backup character, which in Bill's case would be this guy, Vincent. And let's see, where is Vincent in here? Here he is. Vincent would come down from the sky of the temple there, and he would start at one of these 2 spots, and he could start looking for treasure and moving his way out the door and seeing how much treasure he can get. That's when one of your characters die. But I'm not dead yet. You know, so now I'm carrying lots of treasure, and you can choose to dump treasure if you want to, you know, make your load lighter. So as you see here, I'm at, you know, let's say I'm at 4 to 6 treasure now. I may want to go on, so I roll again, and I'm trying to get past all this. And all right, here we go. I got 3 more moves there. So what I would do is I go 1, I don't want to search for treasure. 2, I'll search, you know, hold on. I made it there 1, I got to flip it over. Is this one of the tiles? 3 lines and 1? Yes, it is. Oh, no. Oh, Bill done burned himself in the lava. He's dead. And that's when you would throw in your backup. Your backup would drop in from the temple, and you would switch the cards. Bill's dead. He lost all his treasure. Now here's the new guy, Vincent. He has 0 treasure, and he's ready for some action. And so that's kind of how it works when one of your characters die. Now, let's move the other character around here. Let's say that this guy's doing pretty good. He rushed out around here and he wants to get one of these treasures stuck in the walls. Well, if you can see it here, there are the numbers 1, 2, and 3 on dice. And so what he can do, and let's look at his load level. let's say his load level, he hasn't gotten much treasure yet, so he's still at 3. So anything 2 and above will give him some actions. Let's roll these die here. Oh man, doing terrible there. All right, so I rolled a 1. That's not going to be an action, but I rolled a 3, 4, 5, and 6, so I get 4 actions this turn. Well, what I want to do is I want to try to crack open one of these treasures because they may be worth a lot. So I roll all 5 die as 1 action to see if I can get a 1, 2, or 3. And I got a 1 and a 2, not bad. But I didn't get a 3, so what do I do now? Well, for a second action, I can roll this die again, all 3 of these, to see if I can get a 3. So I rolled again, and I still didn't get a 3, but I still have 2 more actions, so I roll one more time. There's a 3. So I pick up this treasure because I got it, and for my next move, I'll just move down here. Well, now my character is holding, and where is he here? Here he is. He's now holding 4 treasure, let's say. So anything 3 or higher, and so you'd roll again. So that's how it would work when you're going through the lava. Now, when you get to the water, there's some other things you need to think about. Do you want to hop into the river? Hopping into the river, there are river treasures here that you can do. And once you hop in, you're going to be carried by the current, which means you cannot search for treasure in the same tile more than once. So if I was to roll here, and remember, I'm carrying 4 treasures, so anything 3 or above gives me those actions. Dang it, 3 1s. I'm sucking at this. All right, so I got 2. So my first thing I'm going to do is move 1, and then I'm going to search for a river treasure and keep it with me. Again, I cannot search for a second river treasure there. I would have to move before searching again. Now, as you're rushing down the river here, when you get to the end, right before the waterfall, here comes the important part. Can you escape? Now, let's say I loaded up on treasure, and I have a 7 or 9, so I have a load level of 4. Now, what this is saying is I have to roll 4 dice. So I take away 1, I got 4 dice. If any of these 4 turn out to be a 1, I will fall over that waterfall. So let's see what happens. Uh-oh. I have a 4, 5, or 6, but I did get a 1. That means I'm going to die. But wait, I can escape. To re-roll that 1 die, I can dump 3 of my treasure. So let's say I had 7, I dumped it, I'm down to 4, but now I get to re-roll this die. Now, if it rolls up a 1 again, I'm dead. But if not, then I escape the river. Yay, I escaped the river. And so I'm good, and I can head to the exit after that. So it is kind of dangerous to take the river route. So let's say I don't want to take the river route. Let's say I want to pass over this old Rickety Bridge because this boulder is coming my way. And I don't want this treasure over here. This treasure is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 you got to roll. It's worth a lot. It's worth 6 points in the game. It's a huge treasure to get. Just kind of like how these are, 1, 2, 3. You can keep rolling over and over again until you have that many actions to get the consecutive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's worth it if you want to get it. But for me, no way, man. That boulder's coming at me. I need to cross this bridge. So what I would do, I would once again look at my load level. Now let's go back. Let's say I'm here, 7 and 9 treasures. I got a 4. So that means if I roll anything under a 4, I'm going to break down some of these tiles. So what I do is I roll my die here. Anything below a 4 is going to break some tiles. Wow, look at that. Huh. Oh my gosh, I rolled 2 1s, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So I broke 4 tiles right there. Tiles being planks, I should call them planks. Anyway, so I pop off 4 planks. That's okay. As long as there's 1 plank above there, I can cross it. And let's say earlier I had rolled and I had 2 actions or 3 actions. So I could go 1, 2, 3. Now, if I wanted to be particularly mean as an action, I could slam down and break another plank and prevent someone else from going through. So let's say there were 2 planks on here and I wanted to make it rough for someone when they came across here. So I had 1 action. My second action is to slam down on this bridge and break one of the planks. And then my third action is to exit. That's going to make it really hard for someone else to cross when there's only 1 plank left on the bridge. So it's a way you can sabotage the bridge when you cross over it for other adventurers. Now, like I said, at the end of the game, you want to get out of the temple. Because if this boulder blocks any of the other adventurers' exits, then they are out of the game. They don't count. Only adventurers who made it through will be able to count their treasure. And the adventurer with the most treasure wins. All right, so final thoughts. What do I think about this game? You know what? I actually played this game years ago. A good friend of mine brought it over back in the early days when I was just getting into board games. And I remember I liked a lot of games. This is one of them, but I forgot about it. I forgot I'd even played it. And so last year when I was just randomly cruising around looking at board games, I saw this. I went, wait a minute, that cover looks familiar. I think I've played this. And then when I looked at all the pieces and the pictures online, I was like, yes, I have seen this game before. And I say, and I like this game. I should get it. So I got it. It is Indiana Jones-esque. It is super fun to play, not hard at all to learn. I like that the more treasure you have, the less chance you have at moving, the slower you are. I've died quite a few times. Once that ball gets rolling, it's like you cannot roll ones and twos. But when it's your turn, you roll nothing but ones or twos to move. It's incredible how the dice rolls go for me. It's exciting trying to go for new treasures, trying to go for new, trying to cross the lava pit. I've seen some people brave it without looking at the tiles. I've seen some people, forget which tiles were which and make the same mistake. The walls closing in. I've seen people get too greedy at the beginning. I've seen people die. Everyone tries to get into the pond, and I've seen tons of people go over the waterfall. The bridge is fun. Everything about this is really fun. The thing about the game, to stop it from being repetitive, I would suggest that you have already a mix of games. I wouldn't just get this game by itself. I'd throw a lot, if you have, maybe at least 10, this is 10, 20 other games in your collection, you're just a small time collector, you're like, ooh, I like this. Don't make this the only game you get, because after a while I can see it may run its course. However, if you bring it out every once in a while, it's always a new adventure because you've forgotten what symbols were where. It's going to be hard to memorize all those tiles anyway, because there's so many different symbols that mean the same thing. And I don't see anyone memorizing them unless you play the game like tons and tons of times. If you play it a few times, then wait a few months, play other games, then bring it out again, it'll be different again. You'll forget some of the tiles and do it all over again. I think this definitely has a lot of replayability. It is like I said, again, I said it's a super fun game. The little mini expansion character, you can get her. Don't buy her for a lot of money. There's a guy that sells them for like $5 or $6 or $7. It was really cheap. But then I saw people selling her like for $40. It's like, oh, I'm not paying $40 for that one character. The one character doesn't add that much to it. So you don't really need it. I just got it because it was cheap, and so I just got her and added her into my set. But you play with different characters. They have different abilities. Some you like better than others. Some you may get used to. If people start getting fight over them, what we've done is just randomly shuffle them out that way. So to give everyone some different taste of adventure. I love the game. I think it's so fun. I'm glad I got reconnected with it after so many years. And yeah, if you think this is a game for you, then you should definitely pick it up. I think it's great. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.